Hey everyone, this is Kevin from Kevin's Micro Fleet. Today I've got a Micro Galaxy Squadron review. We're going to be taking a look at the new Dreadnought class, the TIE Reaper. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the figures, at the vehicle, at the packaging. We'll do some measurements, we'll do a comparison. Let's go ahead and dive into the review. And let's go ahead and start here with the packaging. First is you have Star Wars Rogue One here in the top right corner. Then you have Series 3 down here. This is actually Series 3 of the Dreadnought class, not necessarily Series 3 as in the series that has been coming out. Then you have TIE Reaper, number 204. You get a little picture there on the side. Cool display here of the vehicle, as well as some of the accessories. Turn this thing to the side. We get some cool box art there. And then we swing this around to the back. This shows all the different features of the vehicle, as well as you have this blueprint cutout if you wanted to grab that. Now on the underside of the package, we do have the UPC, so if you need to grab that, there it is. On the interior of the packaging, there is this background that you can't really see until you take the vehicle out of it, just because the vehicle obscures so much of the space. But here it is, some palm trees there, so you could use this as a display if you wanted to be able to put the vehicle here and then have this as a background. Now, this is the first product that we're getting where we're actually getting some firing projectiles here. So these are just some lasers. They have this little rib on here to be able to insert this into the vehicle to be able to shoot it out. But that is that. You can see actually there's some bubbles inside of it from the plastic, I guess, as they were molding it. So not sure whether or not that's designed to be there or not, but it doesn't look like it's supposed to be. But either way, there you go. Also, you have your figure pack. So you get a couple different figures here. You get a Death Trooper Commander as well as 2 Death Troopers. So to be able to take these things out of the package, you just pull back here on this little tab. There's your little blueprint of them. And then you go ahead and pop them out. And there you go. There are your figures. So now we have our troopers here, and you've got your 2 Death Troopers, and then you have your Death Trooper Commander, and then you obviously have a TIE Pilot here. So using the TIE Pilot just to show some comparison, the sculpt here on these guys looks really good. It's kind of hard to tell in this video the amount of detail that's actually on these figures just because of the lighting here. I'll try to move this around to see if we can't get a little better lighting on it. But there's a lot more detail on here, but it's hard to see just because they're all black. So as we turn this around to the back, you can see just the commander has that little pauldron there on his shoulder, and that's really the main thing that separates the two. There is also a little bit more gray on him. There is just one little panel of gray there on his chest, and that's about it. Now, Death Troopers are supposed to be taller. They're going to be the elite fighting force of the Empire, so you can see it's just a little bit taller than the TIE Pilot there from Series 1. But those are your figures. So let's go ahead and start here with the vehicle. So I want to go ahead and take a look first at the size of this, just because this is supposed to be an assault class size vehicle that doesn't have lights and sounds. So if we're looking at this from front to back, it is about 11¼ inches. From side to side, it is 7¾ and then it's very short, so it's only 2 inches tall. Now that does fit into the Dreadnought size vehicle, which should be essentially a 10-inch vehicle, which is what we end up having here. So there are a bunch of different features to this. I want to start here just with the deco first, and then we'll take a look at the features. So this does actually have a wash on it. You can see where the wash is pulled up there on the wings, but it does also have some nice paint detailing on here on this little piece there where it hinges, and then you can see the red window on the front and the back of this. As we flip it around to the underside, again, it has some of the wash under there. These little pieces are actually the firing mechanism for the projectiles, but that is that. Now also, while we're looking at the bottom, it does have 2 landing gear pieces. So that serves as a ramp, similar to what we had on the Imperial shuttle. In order to be able to close this, be careful, don't push up on it super hard. You do have to pinch these pieces in, and then it closes nice and easy, and it clips in. Then you also have your landing gear here, which do snap in place, and very satisfying click there to snap them in place. And then we also have our wings here that move. So The wings do turn down like that. Or you can hinge them all the way up this way if you wanted to as well. Now the hinges, they are individual, so you can move one wing without moving the other, which is a nice feature to it. And then you can see here on the front, it's got these two little holes here. Those holes are for the projectiles. So now if we go ahead and take a look at the interior of this, it does have a cockpit which opens. So we can pull that guy open. It has room for two pilots to sit in there and some really nice detailing there on the interior of that. Then we have a section here that comes off. Go ahead and pop that guy off. And it has like a little rib there to be able to pull up on it, which is nice. And then you have seating in here for 6 different figures. So then you also have here on the back, you have this other piece that will pop off that does have a C-clip in there to be able to put a figure in, as well as some other really cool engine detailing. Not super necessary to have that, but is very cool to be able to have another play area for this vehicle. So then we've got our projectile. So I want to go ahead, I already inserted that in here, pretty easy to push that in. And this thing shoots out like really hard. So I'll go ahead and push this down. I mean, you can hear how loud that is. This thing can probably shoot, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet, I would imagine, just with how hard that comes out of there. So I don't know, I'm not really sure what they were thinking there with how hard this thing is, but again, you can hear that hitting the board here in the background. So either way, pretty wild. So that is your Reaper. Now let's go ahead and do a couple comparisons. So I did want to show this first compared just to the TIE Striker. So the TIE Striker obviously is going to be in Rogue One with this lander. And this thing just flies around in the background. We actually don't get to see a ton of up-close images of the actual TIE Reaper in the movie. We do get a little bit, but not as much as what we'd hope for. And then you have the TIE Striker. So the TIE Striker obviously is just like a dual craft with 2 different pilots in it versus the Reaper, which is a landing shuttle. And so you can see the size is much different. Now this is on top of one of my 3D printed stands, flight stands. So if you're interested in those, go ahead and check out my Etsy page, which is in the link below. Then also I want to compare this to just the standard TIE Fighter. So this is your Series 1 version of the TIE Fighter. And so you can see what that looks like. So obviously the lander is much bigger. Very cool vehicle, super excited to be able to have this in the line. I'll show this compared to one more thing. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this compared to the Millennium Falcon, which was our original assault class vehicle. And so you can see they are roughly the same size. So the Reaper is just a little bit longer there front to back than the actual Falcon. But there is the Falcon sitting right on top of it. And so you can see, looks like exactly what I would expect a Dreadnought class vehicle to be. And very similar again to assault class size, which is really cool. So super excited to be able to have this in the line. This is not something that I was expecting to see, but awesome to be able to have the Reaper, as well as finally get some Death Troopers. So if you like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out all the links below. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to catching everybody on the next review.